From young OG to the OG. From nosebleeds to floor seats.
Let's go.
Let's go.
My gold decks, your gold plated.
Turn it down a little bit.
You verse me, now that's a reach.
Y'all ready? Alright. We here live. It's my second live. You can tell some things have definitely changed. I put a little bit of extra time, extra effort into making these lives right for y'all. So before we get started, I just want to make sure everything sounds right. How y'all doing? How you doing today? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Let me check and make sure everything's good. Hey, I think it's on. I think we good. Alright, as you can see, right in here I have some Legos. I got a couple different options of Legos. Alright, let's turn this down a little more, a little low on the music so y'all can hear me. We connected today. Alright, let's check into the comments real quick and see what we got going on. I want to tap in early. I want to see what y'all was thinking about for movies. And if you can guess what my favorite movie is, think about it. In the comments, let me know what y'all favorite movie is, because that's kind of has something to do with the Legos we're going to do today. Alright, so I see we got Peter in the room today. We got Andres in here. Let's go, Andres. Let's go. And you've been in here early. Perfect timing. I hope you're on your lunch break. Hopefully I came in at the right time for lunch. It's going to be entertaining. We tapping in today. I want to talk about my life story. I want to talk about, answer any questions you guys may have about me. Answer any mysteries and just put it out there. This is therapeutic for me. This is kind of why I started the channel. I just like talking into the camera. I enjoy it. So, what's going on, Jan Wagner? I see you. I see. Catherine. I see Catherine in there. It's your possibly your favorite time of the week. I'm glad. And I apologize. I was supposed to post a regular vlog on Wednesday, and I just didn't get to it fast enough. But it worked out for me. So now I'm technically 2 vlogs ahead. So I won't miss a Wednesday on a vlog, and I won't miss a Sunday live, because that's what we're doing here. So Sunday's live, and the lives take a little bit. And this is new to me. It takes a little bit of extra work in the pre-hand, just preparing for this to make sure that everything is set up right. So just for example, I want to make sure I sat down a regular top down for y'all. And if it's your first time, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'm loving this so far. I'm having so much fun. But this is new to me, the lives. I've done this for other people. I haven't done it for myself. I've done this for churches and schools and things like that. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoying this. All right. Now, I want to talk a little bit about my life and kind of how I got started. We can start that off. I hope y'all are here. I don't know if y'all are ready for it. Okay, I see someone's perfect timing. I plan on doing this at the same time. This is the plan. It has to be planned, precise, 11:30. I hope I'm catching my people in the UK and overseas on the other side of the pond, and Canada and Australia. I get those comments all the time. I see North Carolina. Y'all please tap in. Let me know where y'all watching from, all that good stuff. But yeah, let's get started. Lego set. So yesterday I went to the mall with the family. And it was only right for me to go to the Lego store, because they do have a Lego store inside of there. So when I was in the Lego store, I found a couple small sets, nothing crazy. I figured they had to be small because of the fact that I talk to you guys on here, and I really don't give myself a lot of time to kind of really make these things happen. When I did the Bart Simpson, I didn't even get to paint that guy. But it still turned out pretty good. I'm happy about it. But I feel like if I do a couple small Lego sets, I may not even complete these, because I really just want to talk to you guys. So went to the Lego store. That was fun. Had a lot of fun there with the family at the mall yesterday. I know, right? Hanging out with the family. I feel like that time is needed. I work a lot, and I really don't give my family the time that they need as much as sometimes when I work like I do. So I try to make sure that weekends are dedicated for them. All right. So I see Brenda's tapping in from Indiana. Okay. I see H-Town's tapping in as well. All right. Okay, you say your sound disappeared? Let me know if y'all can still hear me. Let me check my sound as well. I'm gonna just check it real quick. So I got another mic on hold. Thanks to Shelly. If you watch, I got a new vlog coming out dedicated to these microphones I got right here. I got these from Shelly. She hooked me up. Hopefully it sounds okay. Everything looks good. All right. So back to the life story. I've talked to you guys a few different times about where I'm from, St. Louis, Missouri. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. That's where my dad lives in Michigan City, Indiana. But St. Louis is kind of where I got started. My childhood was actually pretty rough. And what's crazy is I didn't know it was rough. And I still got the chills on me. That shouldn't be on anymore. But what I was meaning to say is I didn't know my childhood was rough until I moved to Michigan City and I seen like other kids that had like stuff and they were doing things and I didn't realize that like the way I was living was it was probably traumatic for a lot of other people. I think I handled it differently. It's kind of strange to say that, but there's movies and shows that may have came out later, and I seen like, oh man, that like Boys in the Hood. Like I've lived in like the worst neighborhoods in St. Louis, Missouri, and I've experienced like the worst things ever. My wife told me I can't even tell love about like that. I can't tell love about my stories. She says they're just too depressing in a way. I feel like they're motivated because I know where I came from, and I got so much to do, and I'm so blessed. Everything that I have, I'm so grateful for it because I had nothing. I really didn't have much at all. So starting off in St. Louis, Missouri, my oldest memory would have to be one day my mom took. This is before I take it back a little bit. I have 5 siblings. It's 6 of us total. I remember when it was just my oldest sister and me. Before I had any of I'm the second oldest. Before there was any other ones, I remember when it was just us two. And my mom took us to we're going to the park and we're walking somewhere. And I told her, oh, I'm gonna meet you on the other side. I know this park kind of was like a circle, so I could meet her on the other side. I don't think she heard me. I don't think she heard I said that. So while I was going on the other side, I think she was going crazy. By the time I got to the end where I think my mom was supposed to be at, she wasn't there. I remember trying to cross this like crazy busy street. And it was just the street that took me home pretty much. And a police officer seen me right there at the intersection, took me to where my mom was at. I remember it very vividly. We were in like Joplin, Missouri, or Cape Girardeau, one of the two. Joplin more likely. And the officer took me to my mom. She was at this like foot doctor place. It was like a doctor's office, and she was in there and she was crying. She was so sad. But when she seen me, she was so happy. Like I was just like, Mom, you're supposed to meet me on the other side. I probably was about, if I tried to do the math because it was just us two and I didn't have my other siblings, I was probably about 3 or 4 years old. And maybe five. I take it, yeah. I was probably about 5 years old. Because I feel like, I don't know, maybe I was just more mature as a kid. I just was adventurous. So I was one of those kids that kind of just did my own thing, and I adventured in the backyard. I had a stick that was like tied to my back with a shoestring, and I was a Ninja Turtle. I wore my Ninja Turtle like pajamas everywhere. That was my jam. But that's the beginning parts, like the earliest memories of my life. In the comments, I know it's maybe like a lot to type. Like, do you have any old memories? Do you remember when you were like that young? I feel like I remember preschool. Can you remember preschool and kindergarten? I remember vividly being so happy that I was going to be able to stay at school the whole day. Because kindergarten was just half a day. You didn't get lunch. You didn't see a lot of the other kids. I had cousins and stuff at the school. I didn't see them as often. But when I was going to first grade, boy, we had a full day. I got to do gym and other classes, and I had lunch. I just remember being in kindergarten, being so excited for first grade. And I told my daughter that story when she was like moving into
the next grade level, and I was like, I remember that. But yeah, that's kind of starting off the early memories. So now that we have that started, let me go back into the comments. I don't know if anything's still posting up. My stuff is. The other day I was in here doing this and it just kind of stopped updating. So then I had to, my last vlog, I had to like come to the tablet and kind of look to see. Everything looks okay so far. Okay, so Legos. Legos kind of, I really wasn't a Lego fan until I got into Star Wars. And if you guess Star Wars, my favorite movie, you got it. You definitely got that one because
Star Wars is my number one. Now, along with Star Wars, there's other movies like, I'm going to say, Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, you know, any of those, like, you know, especially if they have like a trilogy. I like movies that have back-to-back-to-backs. Those are the great. But Star Wars is something that kind of just hit differently. And I wasn't the first episode Star Wars. The first 3 episodes, or I should say, when the first ones came out, they're technically episode 4, 5, and 6. But I really wasn't a fan of the old ones. It wasn't until episode 1 came out. And a lot of Star Wars fans don't like episode 1. We got Jar Jar Binks, we got pod racing. I loved it. And that was the start of my Star Wars appreciation. After that, then I kind of got into Legos. I have so many, I got like buckets of like extra Legos that I used to actually play with. This is before Love came around. When Love came around, there was no more Legos. You know what kids do with Legos. They put them in their mouth and they choke on them and all that craziness. So there was no more Legos for me at all. I have a whole box full of Star Wars stuff over here. For example, I'm just gonna grab a couple things. This is Pez dispenser. I probably got this the year Love was born. Amazing. I mean, I got a whole, I want to show y'all this box full of stuff. I pulled it out for a reason. I don't really know why, but I wanted to pull out some of my other Star Wars Legos that I have. I got some other little characters over here, things like that. But yeah, we're gonna get started. I put this guy out. So this is what we're gonna work with today. It looks like this is gonna be a Boba Fett, like Boba Fett cruiser. It's a small version of it. It's got some missiles, you can shoot it. That's gonna be fun. With shooting missiles. Let's get that up, right there. Boom. Okay. Now we got that out the way. Now I do want to tell y'all a secret. I was super nervous to get this live started. Like right before, I was having some anxiety. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot, and I want this to be perfect. I want this to be set up good for you guys. Let me know. Is everything sounding good? When I do the close-up screen, the sound changes. I wonder why. I'm gonna figure that out. Okay. Maybe I have a different. I wish I could show y'all the software that goes into like doing this, and it does everything for me. I know I'll get used to it after a little bit, but for now, this is what we got. All right, so we're working on Boba Fett. I'm the type of Lego person that I kind of like the. Okay, first, I know I just went into Boba Fett. So we had this guy. This guy, the reason why this is up here, this is the set that Love got for Christmas. Her and my wife decided to start on it early. They started on it without me, and this is what we have. This is what it's supposed to look like. If you see in the screens, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what we have. There's so much still in here. I don't think they understood what they were getting into. The sad part about this, and I hope I can fix it. I haven't researched it yet because I was gonna do this set. The instructions isn't in there. I'm not sure. They were so excited to get it. Look, they chewed the bottom of the box off to get the pieces out, threw the instructions away, and just started. I don't know. I'm gonna put this guy to the side. I'm gonna have to do this one by myself. All right, so I like to set all my Lego pieces out. I kind of like to put them so I can see them. I'm a visual person. We'll put that to the side. These guys are just kind of here to watch the show. Freemaker experience. These are all Lego. We got Chewbacca. I know I have a lot more. There was a time I did pull these out, and I did give them to Love when she got a little bit older. There's probably a bunch of these in the bottom of her toy box. But I think my collection is going to start over right here. This is the new collection. So I like to pour my pieces out, kind of get them organized. It's technically what the picture says do. Pour the pieces out, get them organized. It's a picture of a bag. I mean, the instructions don't get no easier than this. To tell the truth, it's just picture by picture. And I'm just saying that. They were having such a hard time with this Lego set. They really were. So I'm gonna go ahead and do what I normally do. We're gonna put this to the side. All right. While I'm doing that, let's go to the comments and see what we're talking about over here. So I've been to a Legoland. This is a comment from Sherilyn. I said that right? And I'm gonna try to say y'all names because I want to point y'all out, but I'm probably gonna say them wrong. Carolyn. I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize. But she's asking me if I've been to Legoland. I've been to Legoland. If it's considered Legoland, this is a Legoland experience within the mall in Tempe, Arizona. I haven't been to one. I want to say in California. This is like Disney. I haven't been there yet. I really would love to go there. I haven't been to Disneyland at all. And that kind of brings me back to the childhood story. So where I live in St. Louis, Missouri, there's a Six Flags St. Louis, like right in the area. You pass it up, like we pass it up all the time. I always see it on the highway. The sad thing is I never had been to it. We just couldn't afford to go to it, or whatever the reason was. I hadn't gone to that Six Flags until I was an adult, and I couldn't afford to like take myself and drive myself. Technically adult. I had my first car. I was in high school, but I had my own money. I was working a job, and I can take myself. That was probably the best, one of the most fun experiences ever. I used to love roller coasters and going to stuff, doing stuff like that. Just seeing it. I just remember just riding past it and just seeing the roller coasters, and you can hear the screams. I always wanted to do it, and that's another reason why I make sure that my daughter has experiences. I try to do things and take her places. I didn't go places. I didn't get on an airplane. The first time I got on the airplane, Shannon, my wife, she bought me an airplane ticket for my birthday to go visit my sister that lived in Atlanta, and it was my first time on a plane. It wasn't my first time leaving the city, mainly because I was kind of back and forth between my mom and my dad, because they were separated between St. Louis and Michigan City or Chicago. That's because he moved to Michigan City a little bit later. I was kind of in between. So I have traveled. I've been on the train. I had been to other places. Now, my brothers and sisters, they hadn't at that time. A lot of my family, still to this day, they really haven't left the city. They're just there. This is what they know. It's home. And I really owe me going to like stay with my dad in Michigan City for those few years. And just to let you guys know, transparency, the reason I went to stay with my dad, my mom was in penitentiary. She got locked up for a number of years, and this was when I was in middle school. And I was staying with my aunt at the time, but I know she can only do so much, so she sent me to live with my dad in Michigan City, Indiana. And that changed everything. I was from the slums. I was from like nothing, and I came from, pretty much nothing, and I hadn't seen anything just yet. But once I got to Michigan City, my dad had a good life, ex-military, and I got to see what that was like. I knew there was more. I knew there was more in life, so I decided to, I decided to follow the military route. So eventually, I ended up moving back to St. Louis to live with my mom, and this is my choice. I think I was a little bit older. I think I was like 14 years old. After living with my dad, he's showing me the ropes and teaching me to be a man. I was lucky to have that because my brother didn't have that. My sister, they didn't have that. We all have different fathers, which is crazy as well. But they didn't have that, and I was lucky. I was fortunate to have my father, and that put me on a path to do something else. So when I went back to St. Louis to like kind of help my mom, I went to military school. I wanted to be a part of the military. That's what my dad did. I was gonna be a pilot. That's all I wanted. I wanted to go to the Navy or the Air Force, and I found the Naval Academy in St. Louis, Missouri. That actually that changed the way I see life, like period. And that was supposed to be my goal was to go. Now, I did go to the school for 4 years. I went to boot camp my junior year of high school, and at this school, because it's a full military school, the teachers are military, they're Marines, it's a naval academy. At this school, your junior year of high school, you go to boot camp. And when you come back from boot camp, you kind of swole, you know what I'm saying? The girls looking at you a little bit different, because you're a senior, and you just, and normally when you're a senior, yeah, you still are, you mature a little bit differently, but this time you went to boot camp and you did push-ups every day. You did the same thing, and that the purpose of that is for when you graduate your senior year, you become an officer in the military, and this means more money and more decorations because you've done so much throughout your life for the military. So that was supposedly the goal, the plan. But things change. Things definitely change. By the time I graduated high school, again, my mom was still kind of, back and forth. So she was in jail again. So I was staying with like friends. I had a car. I was fortunate. My mom took care of me though, even though she had her troubles. She took care of me. So she had a tax check one year. She gave me the tax check, and I bought a car. That car was everything. Pontiac Grand Am. It was blue. It's like a 95. I remember it. 4-door. It's amazing. That car was everything. Got me everywhere. I stayed in it. And I was fortunate enough to have great friends. And their parents just let me stay. They knew I was a good kid, I guess, and they knew I needed somewhere to be, and it kept me off the streets and from being, somewhere else I could have definitely been. So after high school, I was working a job during high school. I was working an Italian restaurant on a hill, St. Louis, Missouri, called Milo's, and I was a bar back. I also worked in the kitchen, and that's where my kitchen experience started, when I was working at Milo's making pizzas and sandwiches, working on the grill, stuff like that. That paved the way for me when I came to Phoenix, because I had that experience. But I want to say, after I worked at Milo's about 4 years before I came to Phoenix, I was working in plastic factories and manufacturing and doing all that fun stuff. It paid great money, it had benefits. It was a grown-up job. That was exactly what I needed, was something grown up to put me on the next level. But Shannon, my wife, she was my next door neighbor. That's how we met. I had an apartment. I was raising my little brother because my mom she was still in issues. But my little brother was staying with me. I just graduated high school. He was probably 14 years old. So I was 19 years old, raising a 14-year-old kid, and I was trying my best to show him what at least I knew, and all the things I knew, I learned from my dad in those short years that I was there. So it was only so much I could teach him. Now, granted, like I mentioned, my grandmother, she told me she was pregnant 21 times. I know I had 10 uncles, at least when I coming up, 10 uncles. So I had uncles and cousins that taught me a lot of things. I learned a lot from them. But there's a different type of, it's when you learn from your dad, it's something different. And I kind of had to be my brother's dad, which is kind of sad. I had to be my brother's dad to teach him everything from 15 to 19. He was there when I met Shannon. And technically she's my next door neighbor. I stayed at her place most of the time, but I just paid rent. So my brother and the cat. It was my brother and my cat, and I have friends that came over all the time. In St. Louis, I can say I can consider myself kind of popular. I had a music studio in my house, and I technically lived at Shannon's, my girlfriend's at the time, which was next door. So I had 2 apartments. One was a music studio. I recorded people, It was constant, like people coming in and out on a regular basis. So, so it kind of like it opened up our relationship because the fact that I was right next door, so she could knock on the walls and be like, "Shut up, y'all too loud over there. Cut that music down." So it definitely changed it, and there was a point where eventually I said, you know what? Let's just move it. My lease is up. You just signed yours. I can just move in with you, and I'll just pay half your rent. She was okay with it. The downside of that, at this point, my brother was 19 years old. He finished high school and doing his thing. I had to tell him, hey, bro, you grown now, so I'm moving in with my girlfriend, and you have to kind of like figure out what you're going to be doing. And that made him figure something out for his life. And what's crazy is I'm so proud of my little brother to this day. He's the type of little brother that on your birthday he just give you his credit card number and say, happy birthday. Here's my credit card, bro. My drone, the drone that I have today that I fly and get all the great shots, my little brother bought that for me. You know, I'm proud that I raised him to be as great as he is. He's a truck driver. He's making amazing money. He went to Job Corps to be I want to say he was learning how to be a welder, but he's always been ambitious. You know, he's a father now. It's crazy. It's crazy, like how far I feel like we have come as a family, even though all the things that we've kind of gone through. So fast forward a little bit of time, my mom is actually doing way better. She's doing good. She got her life together. There was a point where me and Shannon actually had to move in with her. We moved in with my mom right before we moved to Phoenix, just so we could like accumulate enough money to come here. So I want to say it was probably like 4 months, and that strengthened our relationship to the next level because now she's living with me and my mom, and you know the whole like it was a close knit type of situation. And that's another thing why I appreciate my wife so much. Like she's you know she's awesome. She's a trooper. She's an awesome person. So when we decided that we wanted to come here, I had gotten a bad accident. It wasn't like bad. I didn't hurt myself, but I had this Camaro Z28, and I smashed that thing into a wall on the highway, all by myself. No, nobody else there with me. Nobody else to blame. It was me. It was my fault. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Oh, and I just dropped like the tiniest piece of Lego. Ooh, found it. So it was my problem. So I smashed my Camaro. I had only had it for like 4 months. Smashed my Camaro on the highway. If you're familiar with St. Louis, I don't know the highway, but I was getting off at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery as I realized that the exit that I really wanted to get off was closed. I decided last minute I was going to exit. This exit was one of these, like, whoops. So as I was going so fast, I think I was just kind of like drifting and sliding around this corner. Boom, boom, I destroyed my Camaro. That was a sad day for me. But at the same time, it opened my eyes and I was like, man, I need to be doing something different, because at that time, again, I was young, just me and Shannon, and I was making great money and just doing stupid stuff, motorcycles and cars and all that stuff. So I was living a pretty, you know, it was a rough path, but that's just how it is when you're young. You kind of have to go through that. So, all right. So I'm gonna try to benchmark that right there. We're right at coming to Phoenix. Boom, right at coming to Phoenix. All right, Legos. Look where I'm at. I'm making some progress here as I'm talking. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to like talk to y'all at the same time while I did this. So I'm on like page 10. Now I'm trying to figure out these guys. It's these right here. It's these gray ones. I thought it was these black ones right here, but I was like, man, this one has like little plus signs, and I was like, why? Let's get a closer look on that. I'm like, why does this one have plus signs and this one don't have plus signs? All right, I found my plus signs right here. They like these little X's. So with these little X's, it looked like I'm supposed to slide. Is this the guy? Okay, hold on. I need this guy. It's another little round guy right there. Ha! Where you at, round guy? I can't find him. Oh, here he is. He's gray. So I slide the gray guy into there, and then I'm supposed to slide this guy into the plus sign. Boom. I think I'm supposed to do that twice. It say two times. I'm gonna do that 2 times. All right, we getting somewhere. Woo, we getting somewhere. All right, so before I get too crazy on the Legos, let's go back to the comments and see what we're doing. Okay, my first car, yeah, 98. I want to say, Andres, you know, 98 Grand Am was a 4-door. I don't remember the year though. I just know it was blue and it was definitely a Grand Am. During that time, like Pontiac was doing it. Like I had another homie, he had like a Grand Prix. We used to like, you know, Grand Prix, and they had another one that was a bigger body. Like, man, I miss my Pontiac. After my Pontiac, my next car was a Mazda Protege. I remember because I bought it at Union Station from like a friend of a friend, and it was a stick. It was purple. I couldn't even drive it. I had to have another friend drive it home. But practicing driving that thing, I used to stall out at the light, all kinds of stuff, because I just did not understand how to drive a stick. After I learned how to drive that stick, I ended up getting another stick, which is like a Saturn Ion. I don't think they make those no more. They don't make Pontiacs no more. They don't make Saturns no more. It's crazy that I'm old enough to have driven cars that they don't make anymore. I can say that. Now, after that Ion, I had a Ford Explorer. And I remember all my cars. It was a Ford Expedition. I had a Ford Expedition, take that back. I had a Ford Explorer and a Ford Expedition. That's why I remember that Ford Explorer. Ford Explorer, then I upgraded to a Ford Expedition. It was a little bit bigger. I sold the Expedition. Me and Shannon sold everything to come here. We came to Phoenix with 5 suitcases. We didn't know anybody. We had nowhere to stay, technically. The one thing we knew that is at every job that we applied to before, they said, "Can you be here tomorrow?" And we were like, we're not even there yet. So we knew that there was jobs, there was opportunities, and that's all that we needed to know, because in St. Louis, that was one thing we didn't really have a lot of, was, you know, opportunities and jobs. So here we are. We came to Phoenix. We were staying like on Camelback and 7th. It was like a little hotel. We was there for a week at the hotel. After the hotel, we just kind of was just looking around. We found an apartment, and we also knew that Phoenix had these, like, they call weeklies. They didn't have us where we were. Weeklies or dailies. These are apartments that kind of look like hotels. They're fully furnished, right? And you pay a weekly rate. Little did we know, this was like the most unsavory places that you would probably ever be in Phoenix. On 27th Ave, Indian School. That's what they call the Blade. This is where we moved to, was the Blade. But to be honest, our first impression was, this is amazing. This is paradise. This is like where Craig and Day stayed in Friday too. You know what I mean? We had palm trees. We had none of that stuff where we're from. So Phoenix was amazing, even though it was a little hood. It wasn't as hood as where we from. Believe me, I'm from a place where you do not drive down the street if you're not from there, because things happen. This was not that. I felt comfortable everywhere we went, even though it still was hood. And I say hood because it's just, you know, low income is where, you know, things happen sometimes. So, and that's just where we had to be, because that's what we could afford when we first came here. So when we first got here, I applied to a few different jobs. Me and Shannon went to Walmart. We had like $3,000 in our pocket. She got a bike. I got a bike. When we got the apartment, we decided that we was just, so let me take it back. So they have the weeklies, and across the street from the weeklies, there was actual apartments. So there was a decision we had to make. We could pay more for the weeklies because they were fully furnished, or we could have an actual apartment, and it was an apartment on a contract, and there was no furniture. We had nothing. So we decided to go to Walmart. We got an air mattress, we got pots and pans, and some food and essentials, and we stayed across the street from the weeklies, off of Missouri and 27th Avenue. And we had the bicycles. The sad thing is Shannon got her bike sold the first day. She took her bike. Shannon got a job fast too. She's one of them. She got her job like the day she got here. She got a job at the airport, working in the kitchen because she already had a culinary degree. She knew what she was doing. She already did this stuff. So she had a great job at the airport. She had to catch the train. That was at the train. The light rail took her straight there. Like we stayed in front of the light rail, took her straight to work. But she took her bike to the light rail the first day, and she got all the work, and it was not there anymore. Maybe she just didn't lock it up like the right way. Either way, somebody took it. That was a sad day for Shannon, and I feel for her on that because I've had plenty of bikes stolen from me as a kid, and those are some of the worst memories. I've had a bike stolen from me in front of me. I just got this bike. Pigs. Imagine, picture this bike. It's like a BMX, no stickers, but it had like paint splatter, like multicolored paint splatter, but and it was black. Oh man, it had pigs and mags. Mags are the rims, but they're plastic, like 5-star mags. It had a gyro, this handlebar spin around. I don't know where my mom got it from. She gave it to me. She gave me the bike. I went out riding the first day. Kid asked me to ride it. He was a well-known bully. We was staying on the north side of St. Louis at the time. They called us Dub Block in the 20s and the 23rd. It was the 23rd in Angelica at the time. And he asked to ride the bike. And I feel like I think I probably stood there at that corner for like an hour, maybe even longer, just waiting for him to come back. He just never came back on my bike. That was the end of that. End of that bike. And I'm sad to say that, I regret to say that, like, after that happened to me, I decided I was going to start stealing bikes. And I stole a bike from just a neighborhood somewhere by, and I remember one of my uncles talking to me about stealing the bike. And I remember, I don't remember the whole conversation, but I remember telling him, someone stole my bike, so, you know, I should steal their bike. And again, I don't remember the conversation, but whatever it was, it made sense enough to me that I don't have to be that way. You know, regardless on where I'm from and what's happened to me and what's been done to me, what's been said to me and who did what, I don't have to be like that. And that's my Uncle Perry. I'm gonna give that to him. Like he let me understand that we are from the jungle, but we don't have to be animals. So I think at that moment that was big for me. So back to Shannon losing her bike in Phoenix, working at the airport. I was working at the country club. I got a job like a week later, working at the golf resort, Arizona Country Club. I loved it. You never go hungry if you're working in the kitchen. That's one thing I can definitely tell you is if you're working in the kitchen, there's food you're gonna eat, and I ate well. And that's another thing as a kid. I remember just not always eating good or not always having a meal for you. But when I worked in kitchens, man, I used to take home. When I worked at Milo's in high school, I used to take home pizza almost every other day. Every other day, and that was just a part of my lunch. I made so many friends by taking home. In college, when I was working, I took home pizza to like my roommates, and it was already a party going. And yeah, so food, that's another reason why food is like big to me. When my grandma was around, she made sure everybody ate. No matter who you are, she gonna ask you. If I brought you over the first time, she just not meeting you, she gonna ask, are you hungry, baby? She gonna make some plates. And tell the truth, you really can't deny. If you turn down the food, you probably gonna be more in trouble if you turn it down. So that's just how it is. All right, let's get back to it. So Legos. Let's see what I'm working on so far. All right, let's get back to this right here. It's less Legos on the table. I'm definitely doing it. Hopefully me like looking down ain't too much. Maybe I should have to put a camera like right here so y'all can see when I'm looking down. Cause I gotta look at the Legos. Either way. This is what I'm looking down. Looking down so you can see what I'm looking at. But either way, yeah, I'm excited.
All right, this is good. Let's get to our comments. This is what's going on. So I see Andrea, sweetie. All right, you in here? I'm gonna have to shout you out real big, like or something, because you real active. You know what I'm saying? I love how you talking to her. You got laughs. Yeah, what's good, Nancy? We outside. All right. So tomorrow is Monday. I'll be back with the Crazy Middles tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're doing. You got a lot on the roster. I can't tell y'all much of anything because of contracts and disclaimers and things like that. But you will be very amused and surprised by some things going on. If you have been watching, there was a few videos uploaded this weekend, some great stuff that we did, especially the fire drill, the fire safety. There's a lot that I learned watching, not just watching the video, but filming it and doing the research, making sure that we were saying the right things. So, yeah, go and check that out if you hadn't already. Fire Safety Crazy Middles, Kylie's Crazy or Crazy in Love as well. You go check that out. You have Reedhead Homestead or Building and Beauty now. I still call it Reedhead Homestead. I'm sorry, and everything Kylie. So there's a lot of channels. I support them all.
It's my family, man. It's my family. I love them. All right. Back to the Legos. Back to the story. Where we at? I'm in Phoenix, country club. After working a country club, man, and Phoenix is hot. It is hot here. I realized that I probably like working in like the kitchen industry wasn't like the best choice because it is so hot here, and compared to St. Louis, it's definitely doable, but I had to figure something else out. So I had a friend, he actually worked at a call center, and he got me a job. The call center was called Direct Energy. And we sold electricity for Texas. I want to say it was just Texas. Texas is deregulated, if you understand what that means. It's kind of like electricity is like a cell phone bill. You can have a different company represent your electricity just like your cell phone bill. You know what I mean? You can be like, I don't like your price. I'm going to call around and get some better rates. Here in Phoenix, that is not an option. You get the electricity company that's provided based off of where you live. So because I was working for Direct Energy, man, there was bonuses and incentives. These are things I haven't done before. I never like had a job where I was talking to people. So I felt like, you know, let's try our hand at that. Let's see what I can make out of that. So working at the call center, that like took me up to the next level, mainly because I was making more money than I was used to, and I was having fun at the same time. I felt like I was helping people. I really did. With what I was doing, I was in a retention team, so I would call customers that had been with us for a while, and I would say, "Hey, man, you paying too much. Let me get you at a better rate." And I'd have some people on the phone that's just so grateful that was like, "Oh my God, like I didn't know how I was gonna take care of this and then." I get them better deals, better contracts. I eventually got promoted within that company to rewards and recognition. I applied for this position, you know, got me off the phone. It allowed me to do something pretty awesome, which was like give people gifts. I was able to like reward people based off of their performance. So based off of how you sold or whatever it was, if it was your birthday, I come by with a balloon and I take your picture, and I had a calendar full of events. Like it was a really fun call center, and I made a lot of great friends, a lot of great memories there. But that was the next job, the rewards and recognition. And with that, I felt like the whole point was me just giving away stuff. It's so much fun to like give away things when you didn't pay for it. I mean, I like to pay for it stuff too. I mean, I know it may sound kind of bad, but when someone else gives you money and says, "Hey, buy a TV and go give it to this guy," I thought that was so awesome. Is my audio cut out? Check. I can hear it. I think I can hear it. Let's go back to this one. We're gonna stick with the main one. Just in case the audio ain't working on that side, we're gonna go back to this one. All right. So I don't even remember where I was at, but I do know that working at the call center, and rewards and recognition and giving away stuff that people won, stuff that they deserve based off their performance. That that was life changing. Just giving away things. It just feels great. And eventually, I would love to give away stuff that from that I earned that I can give you guys. For example, I have this pen dispenser right here. Maybe I can give it away to somebody. It's still in the pack. It's brand new, Star Wars or whatever it may be. I got this other Lego set. I want to give some stuff away. Here, take it. Send me your addresses. Nah, I don't even know how to work. Don't do that. I don't want to do that. All right, so Lego set. I'm kind of stuck. On this Lego set. I'm gonna show y'all where I'm at right now. I've been kind of like back and forth on this guy this whole time, mainly because I feel like this is this, right? But how did they do that? Just sit it up there like that? That don't make sense to me. He don't even stick together. Like, I feel like they're supposed to stick on there, but I'm gonna just go with it. Cause it say do that, and then it say do this, but that's not gonna stick. Yeah, it's just gonna do that. So we're gonna keep going. And it looked just like that, but oh, you know what? That piece actually looks great. Ha. I know my colors. It's gray. All right, back to it, man. All right. Whew. I'm tired right now. I ain't gonna lie. The live is like exhausting. It really is. But I'm glad that I'm able to do this for you guys. Because I'm trying to talk to y'all. I want to do this. And I want to control everything. Make sure it look good and sound good. And look at the comments. So it takes a little bit. But if it's working out for y'all, man, I'm going to keep doing it. You get the raw, the real. This, I mean, you don't get no better than this. I am who I am every day anyway, so you don't get nothing different, to tell the truth. I don't even know how to be anything different than who I am. So, this is what you get. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Alright, on to the Lego. So, next. Alright, worked at a call center. That call center is the reason why I am a cameraman. I was going to school I was going to DeVry for business administrations, and I was trying to apply for, because Phoenix, unlike other states, I think Miami has when they have a school for audio engineers. This is for music. If you wanted to be a recording engineer, and I had already had a studio in my house. I've been recording for a number of years, so I felt like I had a decent bit of knowledge. So this is what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a musician. I played in bands. I played bass, keys. I sing. I play brass instruments. I can do trombone, trumpet, tuba, baritone, treble clef, not bass clef. I played Paul Symphony Hall, Fox Theater, St. Louis, Missouri. So I know the music, so that's the whole reason why the camera got put in my hand. They say, hey, we know you're going to school for music, but can you we got this video in the computer and we don't know how to get it out of the computer. Can you export it for us, So, and I didn't know. I had never did nothing like that. So I literally just went to File, Export, MP3, gave it a destination, done. They were so happy. Apparently, someone had that. That was someone's job before. They must have had just quit, got fired, whatever the situation. They were no longer there. So they needed someone to do that. So they said, you know what? We taking you, whatever you doing right now, this is your new job. This is all we want you to do. We want you to go around the site, take pictures of people, make videos, instructional videos, and training videos and stuff like that. So that was what I did. And they had a camera for me. It was a Canon T3i. They had all the software. They paid for everything for me. I mean, they had it already from the last guy. And I just kind of got on YouTube. And I researched and I to figure out how to do this thing. And from there on, people see me walking around the site with the camera. So after they see me walking with the camera, people was like,
hey man, can you like film my birthday? I got an event coming up, or can you film my quinceanera? Um, and or my wedding. I done a wedding at the call center too. But what changed the game is when this girl said, "Hey, my boyfriend's a rapper. Can you like film his music video?" His name's Yeska Lokes. He's still doing this thing to this day. And we went to the car show. This was like the Dub Edition car show, I want to say, at the Cardinal Stadium in Glendale. And he did a performance. I made a music video out of it. My very first music video. It was amazing. I was hooked from then on. I decided I sold my motorcycle, bought a drone, gave some money to Shannon, bought some other equipment, and something happened within that job where they went out of business and they laid off a lot of people. I was making amazing money there, so it was sad. It was a sad day, but I applied for a couple other places. I ended up working as a recruiter for Southwest Airlines through Aerotech, which is like another company that does other stuff. So I was working as a recruiter, which is actually
Another really fun, amazing job to call someone. Be like, hey, can I talk to Tom? And they'd be like, who is this? I'm like, oh, this is John with Southwest Airlines. I'm like, oh, yeah, I did apply for that job. Yeah, that's a life-changing position right there. It's a really great position. And I said John, if y'all didn't know. My first name is John. My last name is Jones. My middle name is Bishop. And I'm a junior. So that's John Bishop Jones Jr. I really want to change my name to John Bishop Jones III because my great-grandfather is also named John Bishop Jones. My dad was named after his grandfather, so he wasn't a junior, and they didn't give him the second. But he technically is the second. I'm just a legacy person. If Shannon decided to give me a son, he's gonna be John Bishop Jones IV, and that's that. That's what we doing. All right, back to Legos, man. So top-down view. Let's see what we working with. All right, they got me on another part. I got this guy going. I got like 2 pieces right here I need to put on. They like little clampy arm things. I'm gonna put one right there. Put one right there. Boom. On to the next step. Look like we on step 30, man. I don't even know how long this live is going. I'm not even gonna time it. It's just gonna end when it ends. If you're still here, I appreciate it. If you tap in on this later, because I know how lives work, you could possibly see this live like on a whole nother day, and it'll still be here. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. I'm glad that you're here. It's your first time here. I'm Bishop. I'm a videographer, photographer, full-time, and this is what I do. I'm trying to spread some love and positivity around the world if I possibly can. I would like to leave this place a little bit better than it was when I came. So that's a big part of, like, you know what I mean, my message and what I do. So we here. Alright, I found some more pieces here on this Lego set. I'm almost there. I'm almost there, to tell the truth. Alright, I want to get back to my story. Where are we at? So we in Phoenix. I was working at the call center for a decent bit. They gave me cameras. They went out of business. Did the Aerotech. I applied for Enterprise, and I worked for, no, I take that back. I say Enterprise. Shannon worked at Enterprise. I worked for Progressive Insurance. And what's crazy is like when I pulled out my Star Wars stuff, I came across like all my licenses. Like, I'm licensed in 16 states to sell insurance. That's property and casualty, home, auto, whatever, rental insurance, 16 states. I have all these certificates in here. I haven't seen these in years. Some of them I hadn't even opened up. They're still in the packages from all the states that I'm licensed to sell insurance in, fingerprinted and all that stuff. That was actually a great experience to go through all that. But I started working at home for them like early. And I thought that was going to be the best thing ever. And it wasn't, because I was missing people. And I felt like I was going crazy, like just staring at the same 4 walls all the time. And nobody else was there because Shannon was working. So she left and I stayed. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. and I was having like the craziest anxiety and whatever it was, but I knew that I was done with that. I think I had took a little break from working. There's something about when I was working insurance, and I felt like I was helping people, but you still get these like traumatic stories of people that went through loss and all this other stuff, and I feel like that was affecting me in some kind of way. So I stopped doing that. Like I just couldn't go back, and that was a big decision maker because at that time Love was born. You know, Shannon was working, and we both was making decent money, but I decided I wanted to stop making decent money, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to continue following this path on a film because it was working. I actually was doing jobs on the weekend, and every once in a while I'd like drive Uber and Lyft like that. So I figured, you know what? We was paying so much for daycare to have Love in daycare, and we didn't trust it anyways. It never felt right, like daycare. So, you know, it goes both ways. You kind of have to have that trust. And we couldn't afford to like put her somewhere that was better, and that's kind of messed up that we have to sacrifice, you know, our comfort of where our daughter was just because we couldn't afford it. So I decided I was just going to stay home. So I became a stay-at-home dad. I was at home with Love every day. That's probably why we have such a great relationship, because it was just me and her. Shannon went to work, and me and Love had our own adventures, and we did stuff. We planned stuff. I was a real stay-home dad. Again, I still drove Uber and Lyft, and I did my little jobs on the side, but other than that, it was just me and her. So, me and the bestie, me and Love, we've been riding through this for the longest. She's probably going to be she's the next level of all this. She's a star. She really is, and she loves it. I talked about it in the last live. She actually was interested in having her own channel before I had mine. She been gaming and she watches people game, so I really feel like that's the true legacy. All the things that I teach her and show her. Alright, so let's get this top down again. This thing is coming together, man. I don't know if y'all been watching, you've been liking, sharing, and subscribing, but this thing is definitely coming together. I'm almost there. I didn't think it was gonna happen. How long we been going for? How long has this live been going for? I can't even tell. It is going though. How y'all doing? Let's go back to these. Let's go back to these comments for a second. All right. Thanks for dropping the sub, man. The class clown. I appreciate you. Let's see. All right. Okay. We got St. Patrick's Day coming up. I've been eating my corned beef and cabbage for like the last week. That's what we had for dinner a week or so ago. It was amazing. I had corned beef again. Me and Cody went out to lunch. I kind of vlogged a little bit of that. You stay tuned for that. It won't be this next vlog. The next vlog coming up is gonna come out on Wednesday. I was gonna call it gluten scooting, but I didn't call it gluten scooting. But it has a lot to do with my like gluten free like journey and me figuring out that I needed to be gluten free and the stomach pains and things like that. And so there's a little journey that me and Love go on. I'll take you guys on a little adventure. We go to a couple other places. So stay tuned for that. That's going to come out on Wednesday. I plan on giving you guys just regular vlogs on Wednesday, every Wednesday, and then these live streams on Sunday at 11:30 Mountain Standard Time in the AM. I don't know. I'm not sure where you guys are tapping in from. Hit me in the inbox. Let me know where you guys tapping in from in the comments if you haven't already. If you're tapping in from like overseas and it's late night, let me know what time it is where you are, just so I can get a better idea, and then maybe I can set these streams up at a different time, because this time isn't locked in, but I want to make sure it's beneficial for everybody. All right. So the next pieces I got here on this Lego set. Let's transition back over real quick. All right, I'm working on this guy right here, and it looks like I'm gonna have to slide him in on these arms. So it looks like I need two. Looks like this guy, and these two guys. So we're gonna put that in, and on to the next. All right, man. All right, back to our story. So Love's born. Worked a couple different jobs. Honestly, I haven't had that many jobs. I've worked. My first job was working in the kitchen in Milo's. Second job was working at the plastic factory. It was an extrusion factory. I made straws for pixie sticks. If you ever had like a pixie stick with it's like a Kool-Aid in the inside, like a Kool-Aid type of, I don't even know how do you describe it. It's like a sweet flavored colored straw, and I make the big ones. I make the small ones, lawnmower bag bottoms. It was an extrusion plastic factory, so I had a great appreciation for manufacturing, and I actually really enjoyed that job. They gave me assistant foreman. Like at the age of 19, I was supervising, men that was much older than me, and believe me, they were not happy about it because they were gunning for the position before I got there, and I came in and just swooped it right up. So that's how it is sometimes. But that was a really fun job. This is Siler Plastic. I still got some great friends working over there at Siler. They're still doing their thing in St. Louis. After Siler, that's when I came here to Phoenix, worked at the country club, and then working at Direct Energy, Aerotech, Southwest Airlines, and then selling insurance. After selling insurance, I quit my job. Then worked another job, full-time, videographer. I was doing my thing. I was loving it. Wasn't making that much money at all. But Shannon was making decent money, so she made up for the difference. Eventually, I was able to kind of catch up with it, and things started to make more sense. And that kind of brings us to where we are today. With me, I did find another job. I can't say I applied. That was a rough Christmas. Christmas is the hardest time to try to figure out if you're gonna pull another job from somebody else, and maybe you'll get a Christmas job, maybe you won't. But at this time, I just really couldn't figure out where jobs were coming from, and they weren't coming in fast enough for me to take care of my family. So, with that being said, I decided to apply for a position for this is for Life Touch. Life Touch is owned by Shutterfly, the printing company, and this is where I was a professional photographer for elementary schools. This was very rewarding. This was actually really fun. Working for the elementary schools, taking pictures. It actually took my photography game to the next level. They taught me a lot. A lot of appreciation for lighting and for posing and things like that. And again, by this point, I had already been filming for a number of years, but they were teaching me things I had never learned before. But these were things that you have to, be accustomed to. You got to be used to these things because this is commercial photography. This is the big leagues. To me, it was, anyways. So working for Life Touch, I did that for a decent bit. The downside with Life Touch is I had to use my own car. They gave you all the equipment, but it took up my whole car. You had to drive everywhere, which that took a toll on my car as well. And I'm talking about I was going to Tucson and Flagstaff. I was driving for hours, and it became a lot. It became too much for me. So I went on to another job site and I applied. And I got a position I seen a position for Crazy Middles, and I applied. The interview, man, everything was like magic. I feel like that was a job that I was supposed to have. I don't know if I would have done that sooner. I should have definitely applied sooner, but I feel like I needed to go through the steps I went through just to gain the experience, just to get me to the Crazy Middles. And I haven't looked back. I don't plan on going anywhere else. I plan on doing anything else. The growth that I'm going to do from here on is going to be with the Crazy Middles and for my channel. But this is it, man. This is all I plan on doing for now. And YouTube. YouTube is actually Shelly showed me a way to really change my life with YouTube, and I'm going to take that and run with it as well. So I feel fortunate to be able to have them in my life and do the things I'm doing with them. Do some great things in my family, and yeah, that's where we are today. So yeah, man, that's the live, bro. And what's crazy is I got done with the Lego set. Perfect timing. Look at the presentation. We got Boba Fett. He all set. He got his backpack, his helmet. He got his strap. You know what I'm saying? He ready to go. He could go inside. He got his whip. Ooh wee. Get inside of there, bro. How it feel? Is it cozy? Can you fit in there? Oh, maybe I gotta bend his legs. This is the small version. I know they make a bigger version of it. Oh, there we go. They make a bigger version of it, but I felt like for an hour-long live, this is gonna be probably perfect for that. So, woo-wee! That was fun. Again, my nerves was on like 1,000. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. If not, let me know in the comments. Let me know what I can change. It kind of sounded like I already need to fix like the audio on like the zoom in camera. This camera angle sound good, and I'm already doing too much with all those angles. I feel like you can see everything from right here. You see my hands up there? See my hands? You see my face down there? You see the comments? You see that? Boom, it's done. I could just do that, but I felt like I wanted to get y'all some little extras. You know what I mean? Some little extras here and there. All right, that was fun. I'm not gonna lie, that was so much fun. Again, if you did like what you seen, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell notification, man, just so you know for the next time when I'm doing these type of things. Hit me in the comments if you liked, if you hated it, all the other stuff. Let me know where y'all tapping in from. I still know what y'all favorite movies are. Mine's is Star Wars. Let me know what y'all. I want to talk to y'all. So this is just the beginning. We're just getting started. And until next time, man, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all to the next one, man. Deuces, Bishop 57, Tunnel Vision. Woo! Celebration. It's a celebration. It's a celebration!